So here we are. The Tesla is officially dead. Nothing happens. Push it, nothing happens. The app doesn't unlock it. You can't call Tesla, you just have to send them text messages. So here we go. It says, open the Tesla app to complete your request. Well, I've tried it, and it doesn't open. So, and I got my keys and everything in there. Good times. Off she goes.
What is up, internet world, and welcome to Accelerate. I'm Mike, my partner in crime is Ian, and today we're talking about the long-term test drive of my 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid. Exactly 3 years ago, I placed an order for a Tesla Model S Plaid. In August of 2021, I took delivery of this car, and ever since then, it's been a real love-hate relationship. It makes 1,020 horsepower and 1,050 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers are insane to me. Vehicles we get today, when they have 400 horsepower, I get excited because they're gonna be fun to drive. This thing has more horsepower than anybody will ever need. All right. Preparing for launch, suspending into cheetah stance. 1, 2, go. Okay, will I catch? Will I catch? Will I catch? Oh my God. But there's been a lot of things about it that I don't like. The first thing is I've lost lots of money. It's the fastest way to lose 100K. Yep, I paid $181,000 Canadian plus taxes. This vehicle is now worth 90. That's 3 years, 90K down the drain plus tax. There's no faster way to lose money than 90K unless you get a divorce, which I also did. And that is the reason why I have this car, because I used to drive a 2018 R8 Spider, but for the family, I bought this, the fastest four-door vehicle I could possibly get. I don't know if that's enough shock value for you, not the divorce, but the fact that Elon dropped the pricing of the brand new Model S Plaid. It now starts at $125K. That is a drop of $56,000. Are you kidding me? How can one person drop the price of a vehicle so much? Do you understand how many tux mats we could have bought for that money? We made it, Mom. Let's get serious. This channel is 4 years old. It started during the pandemic, and if you're new to our channel, my name is Mike, and the man behind the camera is Ian. Ian is a world-class videographer, and I am the worst presenter you'll ever see. However, together we have made the best team, and we've created this channel out of boredom. I've invested money to make the studio as cool as possible, and Ian spends a ton of time editing these videos and putting up with my nonsense. However, one of the things on our channel that we've struggled with is a sponsor. Now, from when we hit 100,000 subscribers and got the plaque, we started seeing an inflow of people that wanted to sponsor the channel. And we were like, what do we do? Do we just take everything? Because every business person is gonna be like, yes, money, money, money. But for us, our commitment to giving you guys the best quality sort of resonates with our personalities. And we wanted a brand or an item that could sort of show that. And we have found them. Or they found us, but whatever, same difference. Now, everybody knows I'm not the cleanest guy in the world when it comes to cleaning the carpets in my car. Just garbage. This is gonna be a terrible video for somebody that wants to marry me. But I have a solution. Tux mats. Check this out. This is for my frunk. That is cool. And feel this material. Listen, listen. One is hollow and one is not. This has been formed perfectly. Check this out. Look at that fit. Look at it with your own eyes. Look how tight this fit is all the way around. Wow, these are super snug. Love it. Look how tight these seams are all the way. It just fits perfectly. Well, hopefully with these mats, my car doesn't depreciate anymore because I've taken a beating. Now back to the video. One of the biggest things I didn't like about this car was the actual look straight from factory. I felt like it should be lower, and I feel like the wheels, even the 21s, are just not as nice as they should be. So I opted for the 19s and for black. Now they changed up the cost of black. Black used to be free, now black had a cost. Although it has no metallic in it, they still do charge more money for black. At the time it was $2,000, which is crazy. I guess that's to do with supply and demand. More people want black, so they just charge money for it. More money for the shareholders. Speaking of stock price, how's it doing right now? I didn't like the way it looked, but now I absolutely loved it. I lowered it, I put wheels on it, all black, everything, thumbs up. So if you want to know how I did it, I basically changed the link so it has a 1-inch drop. So from factory, when it's in its lowest position, now it's in medium, the same exact height. When it's in low right now, this is what it looks like. Super tucked, it's amazing. Wheels, these are 22s with 265, 30, 22s in the front, and 295, 25, 22s in the back. So nice and wide, nice and skinny, and how is the ride? And to be honest, it's pretty good, but it looks amazing, and I'm super glad I did it because now I actually like the look of this Tesla Model S Plaid. Now, my biggest complaint about this car, which is actually a safety issue, like a real legitimate safety issue, are these brakes. This is a heavy vehicle, and these brakes are just not adequate enough. On the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Man, at about so I probably got to about 260 there, 255. And oh my God, the brakes. For sure, Elon charges 20 grand for extra performance brakes or the best brakes you can buy. But who's gonna spend $20,000 to get a higher speed limit and better brakes? This is crazy talk. It should come straight from factory. Nonetheless, I did steel braided brake lines as well as a high performance fluid. And now the brakes are actually tolerable. I can actually feel like I have some sort of feedback when I hit the brakes, not some mushy pedal that doesn't do anything. One thing you must absolutely do is get the car PPF'd. It essentially means you wrap it in plastic so when you get rock or stone chips on the front, it actually protects the paint because the paint is very soft and terrible. Case in point, I also wanted to upgrade the front badging, but a car wash did that for me, and that's how piss poor the quality of this Tesla Model S Plaid is. All done from a car wash. A simple car wash. The front logo falls out. Now, the biggest hate you're gonna get about owning a Tesla, regardless of how much power it makes, is the fact that you went out there and spent real money on a Tesla. You see, I could have spent a little bit more money and bought myself a used GT3 RS. It would have made me money. It would have had a huge following. This thing, well, not a whole lot. People that know cars will be like, that's cool, you own a Model S, but you can't really tell if it's a regular Model S or a Model S Plaid. There's nothing on the car on the outside besides a little badge that shows you or lets people know that you drive a Plaid. You're really driving it for yourself. And once you get sort of bored of the on and off performance, well, there's not really much more besides the tech. And that's where I really love the car. I love the fact that you can get in it, you know exactly how much distance you can drive, regardless of where you are. You can be at home and you can see exactly how many kilometers you can do. When you get inside the vehicle, it'll tell you exactly where to go to charge it up. When you pull up, you simply plug it in because nobody beats Tesla when it comes to charging. No manufacturer for the next 10 years will be able to beat what Elon has done in terms of infrastructure. And that's probably the main reason why I love this car. It's fast. I love the fact that it's kind of stealthy, that nobody really knows about it on one hand. On the other hand, I still see GT3 RSs and say, why did I make that mistake of not buying one? And Ian is nodding his head. However, I did take this Tesla on a supercar rally with 99 other vehicles, such as a 765 LT, a 720S, a Chiron, a ton of Ferraris, modified 911s, and a whole whack of other supercars to see how this thing would do. And there wasn't one vehicle out there when this thing was above 75% battery that could eat it. And even when I was getting low on range, this thing would still pull past any stock 911 turbo. The modified ones, obviously they did pull past me, but this thing held its own and I did not run out of battery. Now, an interesting piece about it though, is when I brought the car home and I had the car sit for 3 days, the front motor actually gave way and didn't work.
This is what it's saying. Vehicle may not restart, services required, electrical system power, well, it's gone now. So here we are, the Tesla is officially dead. All right, so gonna try to jump this thing. This has a little small panel at the front here, and those are 2 jumper cables. We're gonna see if we can jump this thing and get the doors to open at least. Okay, that worked. I got the hood open and that opened up the rest of the car. So now I can put all the Costco in the truck.
I had to get the car towed to Tesla and they replaced the front motor, the front electric motor, and it was an $11,000 fix. So that's the only issue I had with the car, but I did beat the out of this vehicle for 8 days straight, and I put on about 3,000 miles of pure full acceleration. I launched it probably about 75 different times, and I was going neck to neck with anything out there that was almost as fast as me. All right, internet world, in my 2021 Tesla Model S Plaid, it makes 1020 horsepower and 1050 pound-feet of torque. Now, it's supposed to be a 2022, but Tesla decided to make it a 21 when it arrived at the dealership in August. Anyways, I got 2.47 in the last one. Let's see what I can get on this thing, put it on the ground, and prepare for launch, and go. Cheetah mode. 2.45. Now I've got 51% battery. I've got 22-inch wheels that weigh like 1,000,000 pounds. So voila, I'm a little bit slower, but 2.55 still beastly. And that is all I need to get out of this Tesla Model S Plaid. So let's talk about this long-term review. Again, this is a 2021. They've done a few changes in terms of the screen being able to move for the new model, but essentially it's the same thing, makes the same horsepower, all that fun stuff. So first things first, how are the brakes? Now obviously when I upgraded a few pieces of the brakes, they are better. With these 2022s, they are actually not as good. Obviously it's a lot of weight, so it's not that great. It's strange because when you look at the brakes, physically, they're really big. So you're like, they must be good, they must stop right away. But not at all. Like, take for example an M5. You hit the brakes, it brakes right away. Take a 911, you hit the brakes, it brakes right away. I don't know whether it's just because this weighs 1,000,000 pounds, it's not as like quick, but the brakes should like be just, I feel like it just needs to be like, and I don't want to spend that $20,000, Elon, to get that higher top speed to 344 kilometers and to get better brakes. No, I should not be spending that. I should be getting it standard, like when you ripped me off for 181 grand. Anyways, that's my biggest like pet peeve about this car, the fact that depreciation sucks. Other than that, I love the car. It's fast, it handles well. If you want to change suspension settings, you just hit a button. Very easy to get to. The menus are perfect. The charging infrastructure is money. Over-the-air updates are legit. How legit, you ask? Well, they added a track mode. And this track mode is super cool because now you can adjust exactly where you want the power to go. You can make this 100% rear-wheel drive and do donuts, all kinds. Or you can make this 100% front-wheel drive. You can adjust the stability program from like -10 all the way to +10. It's got 20 different increments of the stability program. But that is nothing compared to how good this handles in the winter. There's a ton of weight on the bottom. Again, the battery's right on the bottom, so all the weight is on the bottom. Handles really well in the summertime. But in the winter, it just knows exactly where to place the power. Way better than Audi's Quattro system, which they've been banging into my head for the last 30 years. There's no comparison. This all-wheel drive system, basically planting all the wheels on the ground at the right time, right amount of movement, is amazing. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, even trying to launch this thing at like 1,050 torque, I say 1050 torque, it just finds the way to plant it down so well. It feels completely secure to know where this power has to be placed. There's no squiggliness. Anyways, back to that track mode. It changes the displays. So now you have a big speedometer in the middle. It shows you regenning, obviously, just like this one does, but in this one it's on the bottom, that one's on the actual circle. It also shows you other features on the left side, like I talked about. The temperature of the brakes, the temperature of the motors, the battery temperature, all those like key elements that are money. Anyways, that is done all over the air. Showed up in the car one day, boom, it was there. Love it. Speaking of other over-the-air things that I don't use, the games. I don't think the games are worth anything. Honestly, in this car, not really. Maybe when you get an X, or if you get a Model 3 and you got the kids in the car, so on and so forth, but for me, it doesn't make any difference. I don't care about the games. The satellite radio does get annoying sometimes. Sorry, the internet radio does get annoying sometimes. It actually doesn't have satellite radio, but the internet radio gets annoying sometimes because you've been listening to a song, you get out, you get back into the song, it holds that memory for about 4 seconds, so you're like bumping back to the song, and then it stops, and then it goes to the song that's currently playing live. So that's kind of irritating. It should like continue it all, and that's with the premium package, the connectivity package that gives you the this internet radio. The other thing about it is that they are starting to nickel and dime you a little bit with this internet radio and the rest of it. So it's like you have to pay to get access to it, but none of the actual good features work because then you have to pay tune-in radio to get all the features. So it's like 2 steps instead of just paying one number and then you get it all, but they don't have that, I guess. What other stuff do I like or don't like about it? Obviously, the wheel. I love it. I have figured out how to turn this properly. It requires a lot of pushing down on the wheel. You can go like this. Do I ever worry about the top of the wheel? Not really. I'm always like this, my elbow's down here, and I'm chilling. This wheel has no issue or no bearing on my quality of life or quality of enjoyment on this Tesla from the ground. And then there's the range. It is actually legit. The number that says here is the number I actually get when I drive like an 85-year-old grandmother, which nobody on the planet is gonna do when they buy this car. Everybody's driving this car fast. So is the range accurate? Well, I will say I'm not charging the thing all the time. It has a pretty good battery pack, and it gives me all I need to zip around town, rip it for about 200 miles, and then charge it, and then rip it back. It's plenty. I don't think anybody needs anything more than what this car currently offers at its level. And even in 2021, the fact this car is almost 3 years old now, being a 21, I have no complaints. And interestingly enough, we have this Volvo this week, and the Volvo has no new car smell. This still has the new car smell. Now, it's got about 16,000 miles. I don't really drive it that much, but it still holds that new car smell, which is a thumbs up. I don't know whether it just leaks some fragrance every now and then, you know, over-the-air fragrance. Then there is long drives. This is one of the best cars I've ever owned for long distance driving. It rips in the city, but on the highway, it is very comfortable and you can pass anything at any time. And again, everything's sort of preloaded in the system with Tesla. It is live. They know exactly how many charging stations or how many charging units are there when I show up. Even when I'm far away, it'll tell me exactly how many there are. It's just an amazing, amazing system. And I think the infrastructure system is one big reason on why to buy any Tesla, specifically one that rips like this one does. Also, this car has no massage seats. This is a premium automobile. It should have massage seats. Just saying. So one of my legitimate big concerns is battery, can't say the word, but it starts with a D and ends with an Asian. Degradation. Hopefully I said it correctly. Now the reality is that there's obviously gonna have some sort of effect on this battery. I do rip this car, I do leave it outside sometimes in the winter, so obviously it gets a bit of abuse. Legitimately, is it gonna be this fast in 5 years or is it gonna be a slow slouch? Because I've basically got 2.5 seconds every time I've ripped this thing, whether it was 3 years ago or today. So we'll do maybe a review in 3 more years and see what this thing does and see what has broken in this 2021 Model S Plaid. If you're gonna buy one, I suggest doing so. This is really good value for the price they're selling this car now. I know cars are not in huge demand, but really, honestly, this is a great car. If you're gonna spend somewhere close to that kind of money on a car, definitely buy yourself one of these things because it honestly is so much fun. Now, I've modified a lot of vehicles in my life. Back in 2005, I used to have a Subaru Legacy. And when I look at pictures of that car lowered with wheels, I'm like, wow, at the time I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And now I'm like, what was I thinking? However, with this vehicle, I think I made the right choice in what it looks like. I hope. So a little bit more informal stuff. I have questions for you guys. Number 1, when should I sell this vehicle? It's probably worth around 85 grand. They're retailing for like 91, 92, so about 85 grand, I can probably sell it and get my money out of it. Would you do it now? Would you keep it for 1 more year? Would you keep it for 5 years? Or would you just keep it until it's worthless and the battery's basically dead? That's number 1. Number 2 is, do you think I should do anything else to the car? How should I modify it? Do you guys like the way it looks? Do you like the wheels, suspension, all black, everything? What else should I do to the car? I thought about wrapping it, but honestly, I just love the way this looks, and there's probably not much else I'd do. Maybe a cool like toolie box or something on the top. I don't know. Give me your opinions. Number 3. If I do get rid of this car, what am I getting next? That's a big, big question. Now, I do have a 2002 911 Turbo that I'm gonna keep forever just because that thing just has some sentimental value to me. But this is just so different and I'm not really sure what to do. We get 3 cars a week, sometimes 2, but mainly 3 cars a week we have to review. And then when I have all those cars, I don't really drive this. And it's sort of a shame. So I'm just trying to make this thing look as good as possible. It has about 25,000 kilometers, which is about like 17,000 miles or so. So it doesn't have a lot of usage on it. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.